it's important that you have always a why. There is a reason that you are escaping from something. I find that what is moving me. My vegan trauma arrived by Canada experience. So you start like in a way, and then at the end you finish in another. Not because it's something that I don't like, because at the end when you see so much country, the problem is.
Welcome to Where She Builds, the podcast where two globetrotting solopreneurs share the real journey of building a life and business on the move. I'm Shandi, an online personal trainer helping people feel strong anywhere in the world. And I'm Anna, creator of Your Travel Friend Anna, a global community and go-to resource for those wanting to live a fulfilling and culturally curious life. Thanks for being here. Let's dive into this week's episode. Welcome back, everyone, to the Where She Builds podcast with a very full chitty chat to talk about. I'm joined always by Coach Shandi, and I'm Anna, your travel friend Anna. Good morning, Shandi.
Good morning, Anna. Bright and early. Well, I guess it's not so early now, but we've been talking bright and early.
Yes. We have been planning ahead for this podcast, so we are alert. I'm ready for coffee number 2. You are on coffee 1, I think, sneaking it in.
Number 1. Yeah, number 1.
What's the flavor of the day?
It's a Colombia.
Ooh.
It's delicious.
Ooh.
So nice, right? What was yours?
Just a classic Lavazza espresso, like filter.
Ooh.
Although, I don't think people know that I'm in Lake Ohrid, North Macedonia.
No.
Or Macedonia for the locals. It's a controversy. Anyway. But there is a coffee shop here that sells coffee beans from around the world. So I've been hanging out with a lot of Brazilians, and there was one Brazilian bean there from Minas, which apparently is like the best coffee, best food.
Okay.
This place is really interested in me now. So I got some from there. It's very good. I quite enjoyed it.
But
I'm going to finish. For me, coffee is pretty general. It's just there's ones I know I don't like.
Okay.
So if it's too like acidic or bitter, I don't like those. So this one was good, different, but equal to the Lavazza.
Okay. The coffee connoisseur over here.
So I'm trying to finish one before I keep using the other bag, because otherwise I'll travel with 2 bags of coffee, and that's silly. So finish what you started, Anna. Anyway. All right, we have so much to catch you guys up on this chitty chat. In typical type A fashion, if you listened to last week's episode or voted on our Instagram story, I have a list. Did you see our Instagram story results, Shandi?
No, I didn't see the results. No.
Okay.
No.
We asked you on Instagram, you can follow us Where She Builds, and I said, who do you think is more of a type A traveler? Anna, Shandi, or about even? And I think it was around 75% Anna. Some people did vote for you as well.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Okay, so our audience knows us.
Quite well. So thank you for listening, everyone, and being accurate in knowing who we are. So anyway, I have a list because, yes, I am the more type A, we've determined. Yes. And last week's episode, I had a travel fail story to share that I did tell Shandi off recording.
But I'm dying to hear it again because it's the epitome of travel.
I just want to boost myself up that I've been traveling for quite a long time, and I've booked many a flight. So I spent 3 to 4 hours, which was prevalent in last week's episode. Like, we spend so much time researching, trying to find the best deal for our best bang for our buck, like the best situation. So I'm trying to get from North Macedonia to Italy, southern Italy specifically. And I'm trying to figure out what's the best way, because these are 2 small airports. I know I'm going to have to take 2 flights. So I thought I could go through Skopje, through Roma, do this overnight thing. But then when I looked backwards on the buses to get from the city to the airport, I had taken an earlier bus. A lot of that. It was going to be 24 hours. This was the cheapest option, though. But I would have arrived like a zombie. And then there was another option to spend 30 euros more to go through 2 airports closer to me and arrive around 2 p.m. Pretty, like, that's nice. Great. Okay, boom. I had to ask my host where I'm going if I could come a day earlier. And then by the time they responded the next day, the first flight wasn't at 7 a.m. anymore. It was at 12 p.m.-ish, which in reflection, you know how when we talked to Bianca from Wonderwall Club and she talked about mistake fares?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if
Do you
this
think
was
that's
a mistake
what it was?
fare.
Because it was so cheap.
It wasn't necessarily so cheap, but this airport is so little that they have a PDF of when the flights go out.
Really?
And on this PDF, It said 12 o'clock for this one flight. But then on the internet, it said 7 a.m. So either my eyeballs were not working or something. Okay, so
Okay.
folks, it's the next day. My host says I can come a day earlier. I go to book the flight. It's at 12 p.m. And I'm like, okay, my connecting flight, I believe through this German town, not Rome, through a random German town, which is so counterproductive, going north to go south again. It's an hour layover. And I'm like, okay, let's risk it. Like normally in Lachine episode 2, episode 4, we said 2 hours minimum. Did I listen to our own advice? No. I said, I'll risk it for the biscuit. Let's do it.
But what was the biscuit, Anna? What was the biscuit that you're risking for?
Well, just arriving, like just doing one day of travel, not having to
Okay.
split it, not having to take extra buses, like just 2 flights, easy, bada boom, bada bing. I booked both flights. I'm at the thank you for booking second flight. And I realized there's no way I can do an hour layover. It's 2 separate airlines, 2 separate bookings, and I have checked baggage.
Oof.
I start laughing. I just start laughing in embarrassment to myself. I called one of my friends back home and she's like, what were you thinking? Wasn't thinking clearly. And I felt good that day. I felt alert and alive. So anyway, I jump on Ryanair, which was a second flight. I could move the second flight to the next day for €1. Thank goodness, because Ryanair does not, but now I am spending a night in a German town for €70, which is about the price of where I'm staying for 5 nights. And did all this research and what I just explained, was it worth it? No, because now I'm spending as much as it could have been to go other days. So,
however, we're thinking about silver linings here, and it's getting closer to Christmas, and you're going into a German city, so maybe on the off chance, there's a really cute Christmas market that you go into.
And I can get some glue wine.
Exactly. So silver linings, potential glue wine on the horizons.
I don't even know. Like, I don't have any travel advice besides just don't be stupid. Read things over. 2 hour minimum. That is the new rule.
Yeah. 2 hour minimum. But to be honest, when you're spending so long booking tickets and everything kind of starts to look the same, right? Like you're looking at different airlines, you're looking at different flights, different flight times. And maybe you thought you saw one, but there was a different one. So you're searching for the one that you thought you saw and you can't find it. And then it's just like, okay, let's just get it over and done with. And then that's what I tend to do. And then if Pat isn't there booking flights with me, I'm just like, I don't even care at this point. I'll spend the extra €40 and I'll book something that then I can just be done with this. Because then otherwise I'll spend 10 hours doing this and get the same result.
No, seriously, I was like, okay, I'm going to book this €30 more, bada boom, bada bing. And anyway, so I feel stupid, but we're over it now. I'm going to spend one night. I am going to make the most of that hotel room and work.
There you go.
Friday
get
night
some glue wine.
But I think I will go into town and get some glue wine. But anyway, I'm just...
Maybe you meet
I'm
the
a little
best
bit light
person.
blonde still. Yeah. Can I dye my hair for this one moment? I just feel like so dumb. Anyway, maybe I'll meet the coolest, I don't know.
Who knows?
Great guest, great friend, new love. Who knows? We're just going to keep the doors open. There's a reason why I'm supposed to be in this town.
Exactly. I am a true believer that everything happens for a reason. So I feel like this is happening for something. And maybe it's just a little bit of time, on reflection. Or maybe it's, like you said, maybe you meet a new best friend or a new love or a new guest or a new whatever. Maybe it's going to happen. Who knows?
And also, just to preface, like, money, I really feel comes and goes. I'm going to be in a safe place. Let's just put, like, silver lining. Everything's fine. And it's not a big deal to spend a night in this place. It just didn't need to happen, but it did.
Yeah. Hindsight's always 20/20 too, right? Like you always look and you're like, oh, I could have done this, but it is what it is. And it makes for a good story later on too.
Yeah, I hope you're laughing and I hope you don't make the same mistake, our listeners.
I was going to say also for everybody, it was Anna's birthday on the weekend. So I want to say a very belated birthday to Miss Anna. And how did you celebrate your birthday?
Thank you. Shandi did say happy birthday on my real day, everyone, just so you know. So I'm in this random city that I don't really, I know people, but don't know people. But I went swimming, which people thought I was crazy for.
Was it cold?
It wasn't. Okay, here's the best comparison. If folks have been to Bansko, Bulgaria, a lot of our nomadic friends have been. Those river plunges are way colder than what this was.
Okay.
So it took my breath away for a second, but then I could kind of swim around. But when I came out, I made sure to get changed right away and put all my layers on. And I was just at that, like, cussed, and I didn't get my hair wet. I think that's a big thing too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went swimming. I came home. My
Fun.
host, thanks to my mom messaging them on Instagram, and also they are so lovely. I knew they would do something because they saw my passport. They brought me a burek and yogurt, which is a very traditional Balkan or Macedonian breakfast, and a cake, which was so cute.
That's so sweet.
I know. And then I hung out with a friend that I've met on the Nomad what is it called? Nomad Table app. So
Okay.
I've talked about this, I think, in a previous Chitty Chat. So yeah, I met a friend through there, and we've been hanging out a lot. So of course I had cake, and I said, let's go eat some cake. And then we went to the fortress because we've never gone to the fortress, kind of tourist checklist we needed to do. And then we ended up meeting more Brazilians. Then we had lunch with these Brazilians, and then they went back off. They were only there for a day trip. We watched the sunset. I came home just to warm up and thought I'd go back out for like dinner and a glass of wine. And then I honestly was like, I don't really want to. So I just stayed home. I think I called a friend. I think my mom called me then, and Canada was waking up, so I so beautifully got. So it was so lovely, and I just want to say, if you're celebrating your birthday abroad, I encourage you to make it feel special, and whatever that means to you, whether it's like treating yourself to food or a service or a luxury, but also just tell people it's your birthday. And I know that sounds really egocentric, but just makes you get that like extra look, and it just feels really nice. I can't deny it.
Of course. And it's nice. Like, wouldn't you, if you were traveling with somebody, wouldn't you want them to tell you that it's their birthday? Because then wouldn't it be so sad at the end of the day? And then they're like, oh, by the way, it was my birthday. And you're like, why the heck didn't you tell me? So I think it's great that you tell people and say, like, I would love for you to celebrate with me on my birthday. And that makes it so much more special too. That's amazing.
It was so nice. It was so nice. But everybody, the big news is not my birthday, not this travel story. The night before my birthday, Shandi was messaging me about, I don't even know what we were talking about, work-related things. And then also she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I have another update. What's the news, Shandi?
There's a ring.
I feel like a ring. I feel like a ring. If you're on YouTube, you saw it. Shandi is an engaged woman.
Yeah, we got engaged. Yeah.
Oh
So
my God. How does it feel to have bling on your finger?
Honestly, I keep looking at it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, is that my hand? I keep getting a bit surprised from it. But no, it was such a nice, I was not expecting it whatsoever. So it was an amazing surprise, of course. And of course, it was the easiest yes. And I think if Pat's listening to this, he's heard that a bajillion times now. But yeah, a million times yes. So it was such a nice day that day.
Yeah, no surprise that you said yes, but I was surprised, and I was in a grocery store in the toilet paper section and had to call you ASAP.
With your chocolate bar.
I probably should have just checked out with the chocolate bar and then called you, but in pure just... So also, I asked Pat why he didn't tell me when I was visiting you guys, but it's probably, it's better that he did not share.
He didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell anybody at all. He just kept it to himself. And then Friday, so then when we called everybody on Friday, like family,
they were shocked.
Everybody was shocked. They're like,
I love that.
Crazy.
I love that. Can we just share one piece of the engagement, which is related to you as fitness? What happened? I said, was it stressful? And what did Pat get for some data of how stressed he was?
So we have the Whoop, right? We were talking about this in a previous episode as well. But the Whoop measures your stress levels. And on the way home, on the train ride, after everything had happened, after we had the lovely day, the poor guy gets a notification on his phone from Whoop saying, you have been in the high stress zone, Anna, for 4.5 hours. That poor guy. And usually, like, on a regular day, he's like maybe 1-2 hours, like tops. And that's like with a workout and everything. 4.5 hours, that poor boy.
He is like cool, calm, and collected, guys. Like, he's just like, we'll figure it out. I find you really, if he's listening, like just really level-headed. So he was stressing.
He was so stressed.
Nervous is a better word. He probably wasn't stressed because he probably knew what you were going to say. But
of course.
Nervous.
Yeah. And it's so funny because we were walking at one point and I had my arm like around his waist and then he had his arm around my shoulder. And then I didn't realize, but then he had the ring in his breast pocket and my hand was so close to that. And then that was probably contributed to the 4.5 hours of stress. Because I'm just like, la da da, it's so beautiful here. Like, Amsterdam's so nice. I love this. Such a great day. Because he had a whole day planned of everything. And then, so we're just walking around, and little did I know the ring was right there.
Oh my, and he's probably like, if I don't put my arm around her, that's more suspicious. So
Yeah.
then he's stressing about this. Oh my, I love it though. I love
Poor guy.
making men sweat for a second. So cute. Anyway, big congratulations, everyone.
you.
Share some congratulations on our social media to Shandi. It's so
Thank you.
exciting. And yeah, I'm buzzing for you both. And just
Thanks, Anna.
selfishly, so fun to have friends that are engaged. Like, I feel like it's just different. I feel like not as many people around us are progressing as fast as per se the generation before. So yeah, it's not like marriages and babies aren't happening as quickly and as often as we're used to. So I was like, I love that I have engaged friends now.
I think also in the travel community too, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't see it that often, or you see it later on as well. And I mean, in hindsight, we've been together for 7 years, so it seems like the right time, of course, as well. But it's just, yeah, in our community of people, it's not a huge thing that happens. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
thanks,
Okay.
Anna.
I don't even know. So anyway, we had so many updates. We had travel story. It's been
Yeah.
a birthday. It's been an engagement. You're busy and booked as always, Shandi. How's that
Yes.
going?
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
this week has been what's the difference? It's always
I don't know.
busy. But no, lots of sessions going on, lots of people wanting to do like extra workouts, things here and there. So that also, of course, makes more money, which is great. But then it also takes a lot more time. So I don't have a lot more time to do more of the admin things, which I'm still trying to catch up from the last couple of weeks. So that's just finding that balance. Every time I do this arm thing, I think of that 6'7" meme. Do you know that?
No, you always talk about these memes. And also people on the podcast, if they're listening on Spotify or something, they can't
My
see what
hands
you're
are going
doing.
like side to side. It's like
Juggling.
the 6'7" meme thing. I don't know. Look it up. I don't get it.
Okay.
I can't explain it. I'm a boomer.
Like deep down you are. I don't know how.
I totally am.
I think I'm grandma inside sometimes, but like I don't think I have the boomer. Yeah, anyway, I just we have to find that meme. Okay, we also wanted to just kind of give you a quick admin check-in. Shandi and I had a conversation, and just to also give a little bit insight behind how we're running this podcast. I was able to grasp Shandi for an hour to have a reflection talk of season 2, because we are coming to the end of it. We're also coming to the end of 2025. And I think it was a really productive conversation to discuss where we see this podcast going and how we're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, so this is coming up to the end of season 2, and then beginning of season 3, we're talking about changing up a little bit, like let's say the order of episodes and the way that we do the episodes. So then this episode coming up is going to be a little bit of a teaser for what season 3 is going to be like.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today's little talk with our guest is going to be different, and you're actually going to hear from them twice. So stay tuned for next week's episode as well. And we just want to experiment as well, because we are, I think, still quite a new podcast. We're not a year into it. And so season to season, we're experimenting, we're adjusting, we're adapting, hearing what you also like, seeing what episodes are performing best, whether it's a conversation between you and I or it's a guest episode. And we're going to try some new things in season 3. We're really going to also push for some ad sponsorship. So just talking openly behind the scenes. Shandi and I have been doing this out of joy and fun, and getting to have a platform to share our stories, but also to share stories of people that really inspire us. And this takes time. So we're looking to make money. Long story short. But also it's about being able to reinvest in our podcast, reinvest in our time, our efforts, and making sure that we can still dedicate this, because it isn't income generating, and also make sure our businesses are running. So if you want to place an ad for anything, you have an upcoming event, you have a product or service or some kind of offering for who you think our audience would really like, reach out to us. You can do that. Okay. Should we get into today's episode? Anything else to add, Shandi, as we end near season 2? We'll have a recap episode 2 in 3 weeks.
So stay tuned for the recap episode, but let's get into it because I'm really excited to hear this one.
Okay, let's listen. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Today's guest you may know as a face of the Beet Community Coliving in Palermo, Italy. But before we dive into everything Beet, we are getting to know the entrepreneur, triathlete, vegan, traveler, and Palermo native in the first half of our 2-part series with Marco Traina. Welcome to Where She Builds, Marco.
So welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Our pleasure. And you are officially the first Italian to be on the podcast, which I thought you might like that honor.
I have a good responsibility on my shoulder.
I think you'll do just fine. Well, are you joining us from Palermo today?
Yes, I'm in Palermo.
Wonderful. Weather's
Amazing.
nice.
Weather is, today is not really nice, but until last week was super nice. So
Love it.
winter is coming.
No, don't say it. Although Christmas is coming, so that's also exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's no snow, Shandi.
It's true.
For us, winter is like maximum 11 degrees. So,
Okay. A
but
little bit different than Canada.
very different. But for us, it's very cold. So you see people like with like wearing like super long coats. So
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Okay.
That's springtime for us. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Okay, Marco, so we wanted to go back in time and we wanted to unlock who the young Marco was. So what was life like growing up in Palermo?
So, good question. I can say that I have several lives. So when I was at school, if you want like know something very old, is I was like kind of not bad guy, but I wasn't good like to do like my homework and then all my responsibility stuff. So I was always distracted and then not really applying to my school homework. And in general, I didn't like to go to school. And then after the school, I decided to go directly to work. So I was like employed like in a company that is like a fashion company. So I start to be involved like in all this amazing world of like fashion. And from there, I start my career as like sellers inside the shop. And then I start to be the buyer. So who select all the product to sell for women, men, children, accessorize. So I start to travel a lot from this like side of my job. So I was spending like more or less 300 night, even more, between Milan, Paris, London, and then other like fashion capitals. And
Wow.
so very young, I was already dealing with like doing like analytics things and then understanding what to sell inside the job and managing a lot of budget for this like fashion shop that is here in Palermo is quite huge. So it
Wow.
was the first 6-7 years of my career. And then from there they involved me like in the e-commerce store. So it's like a huge e-commerce store. You have to consider that they sell like all the most important brands, from Dior to Gucci and then all these. So
Wow.
every brand is there. And so they asked me to start again all my career. So I start again from the customer relationship, arriving to like all the marketing tools and stuff and things to do for like promoting the company. And then also the supply chain in managing how the product is moving between the shop to the final client. And then after 10 years with them, I start to create my own business because during this period, I was already working with my companies to do a Windows display with my partner. And so we create Beetroot. This is a consulting company at the beginning just for like visual identity of the shop or professionals. And then when I was ready to be autonomous, after 10 years, I decided to be just by myself. And this gave me the opportunity to struggle on how I can survive in the world. So it was like really tough period because it was like working and finding a solution. And then after 3 years, I decided to do a master in innovation and design management. And then the project work was Beet Community. My final project work was Beet Community, that is like a sustainable pro project. So it's like a business that has like two identity. One is profit and the other one is social. So the main idea is like to fight um, the fast tourist and then how to connect the travelers to the locals and also to solve some like problem that we have in the city, that is like escaping that the young people is traveling abroad to find their own sustainability in terms like of economical side. And that's what's more. Now we are here.
Okay, I'm going to pause you because there's so much good information
Lots,
in there.
yeah.
And I feel like you just encompass so much of what we want to talk about. But we also want to get to know a bit about you, because in part 2, we're going to talk about Beet Community and how that all came to be. But I definitely learned a lot more already. And I think definitely some years were shaped by being 300 nights on the road and not even being in Palermo. So interesting that you were trying to keep the young people here in terms of their economy when you were also someone who was out abroad traveling. But we want to get to know you a little bit, and there's a big factor about you. So we'll talk about business in a moment. But what kind of sports or fitness? We call it sports in Canada. Were you involved in any activities growing up as a kid?
Fortunately, my parents like give me like a sport culture in my life, so it's something that always was present uh, in my life. So every ages there was like a different kind of sports, even more than one for periods. So I can say that I did horse riding, basketball, and karate, so many things. But what I think that it identify myself as a younger was surely horse riding. So I was jumping with them and competing. And then after 18, I started to be a runner. And then after that, I start to be more involved in the triathlon, and more specifically in triathlon of long distance extreme triathlon. And so the last 12 years I spent like my hobby, I think is still remain a hobby.
It's a
Travel.
part-time job. Come on, like it's a pretty intense hobby. That's not something you can just
Yeah.
like I make a blanket, I knit on the weekends. No, this is I
Yes,
think more than a hobby.
was more than a hobby, like I can say. It is more than a hobby. And like twice training per day, and then like, but give me the opportunity to travel around the world, like almost everywhere.
So you traveled around while doing triathlon.
Yeah.
Cool. So what, like with competing, where would you say were the top 3 places that you went with competing in triathlon?
The I think the most important was last year that I did the Norseman, that is the world championship of this kind of sport.
Wow.
And then, but one of my favorite was Patagonia. I was in south of Chile, like to do like this kind of race.
So cool.
And then I was in Sweden, I was in Slovakia, in Austria. Every race has like his own,
Yeah, it's unique.
yeah,
Own journey.
So cool.
in journey. Yes.
What did training look like on a week-to-week basis, to give some insight? Because we know some of our listeners follow because Shandi's got the training, but I think this is a
So
little more intense.
training for this kind of stuff means that the preparation is usually, if you're already prepared, is around 9 months. And 9 months that is going to be like racing, of course, the kilometers that you're going to do during this period. And more or less is 2 training per day. So usually the schedule was swimming and running on Monday. Tuesday I usually do gym and biking, and then I'm going to repeat like until Friday this scheme, like one day and one day. And then usually on the weekend is going to be the long distance, especially for biking and running. Biking more or less in like super training period. So when you are close to the race is never less than 150, 140 kilometers. And
Wow.
and running is more or less 2 hours.
Wow.
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 Yeah, so it is a part-time job.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool. Wow. So, okay, so for the people that are listening, can you kind of explain what a triathlon is, like kilometers wise? How do you, let's say, like it's running, biking, and swimming, right?
Yes, you have like different kind of triathlon. There is like distance and then long distance, and all of them is endurance sports. So it depends the intensity that you are going to do it. Where I was specialized was Roman distance, so 3.8 kilometers swimming, 180, 200 biking, and 43 running. And then usually the extreme triathlon are same distance of the Ironman, but in tough conditions. So you start earlier. So the swimming is during the night. The water is cold. Usually the temperature outside is cold. The organization is not providing anything about food or something like that. So you need a supporter that is like driving behind you and then following you. And so you need to organize all your food and then all your stuff, all your gear, being prepared for summer, but also for winter in the same time, because usually this race is starting from one point and finish to the another one. And the other point, the final point usually is on the middle of the mountain. And
How do you get
and
down?
You finish your Ironman and then you got to run back down.
Okay, wait, but
uh,
why such extreme? Okay, like the triathlon is already daunting to me, but why double it, or just why? What is the mindset around that?
And why is always like something that I was asking to myself, so it's not easy to answer. But I can say that was because now at the moment I'm like in my free year from this sport. I'm more concentrated on like on Beet Community and then the other project. But was 12 years that probably was finding myself. Is like at the end is was a journey. And then if you're a traveler or if you are like a sportsman or like something like that, there is like a reason that you are escaping from something and then looking for something else. So I can say that I am probably understood the why after I finished, because it's given me more conscious about myself, and then give me like also the opportunity to understand that if you want really do something, you need just to work on it, and there is like anything that you can do. So you should just pushing up, and then even if there is problem, even if there is like what was like I can say meditation, and it's not really meditation, is like parts that make me conscious. So
Yeah.
it's something that I won't do again if I come back.
I feel like this is
Go
sorry,
ahead, Shandi.
I was just going to say, I feel like this is a great kind of turn into our next question, because we're going to say, how has being an athlete affected who you are in business? But it sounds like because you've been able to train yourself to push yourself as hard as you can go and really consistently train, that also travels into your business as well. So can you kind of elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think that I just find my why. So more than looking for why I'm doing it, I using like these tools or this like crazy stuff. I find the what is moving me, and then of course was a good lessons to understand how to approach in life. So I feel that sports in general, doesn't matter which level you're going to do, is like a good metaphor of your life. So yes, I think that the organization of the sport gives me like a lot for the business side, and it still give me a way how to manage the things inside the business. So they are more or less part of the same craziness, I think.
Hey friends, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Just wanted to take a quick pause here and ask you to think about your health and wellness. Do you feel strong in your everyday life? Do you feel confident? Do you feel capable? If you're not an immediate yes, go to my website, www.coachshandi.com, to learn more about how my 6-week program can help fix that. And now let's get back to the episode.
Okay, Marco, I wanted to ask you, you are at the end of you were taking a sabbatical, as you first described it to me, after doing 12 years of this extreme sport. So the question is, do we have a next vision of how sport or training or movement is in your life? And do you have like a bigger goal you're working towards?
I'm not working to any big goal at the moment, but because all the energy that I was giving to the sports at the moment is like totally dedicated for work. So I have crazy days at the moment. And because it's here where I'm launching several projects all together. And as you know, the Italian Nomad Fest is going to be a good uh, arriving point, like to launch all the things that I'm doing now. I don't feel myself retired about sports, so I'm still young, I can say.
You were still young, very. Yes. You've got lots of years left to do. I'm sure you'll run another marathon or a small
I'm
triathlon.
I'm just pausing. I have some goal in my mind, but at the moment is not taking space, unfortunately, because sports for me was always the balance also to solve all my life trauma or like to escape from work and then also to be more relaxed in my life. So it's something that I'm really missing. It doesn't mean that I'm not training. I'm just doing like twice a week at the gym and then running occasionally, without a specific appointment. But it's something that I'm really missing, like in my life to be more balanced.
I'm sure we'll see you race sometime, but it's very interesting to hear how training kind of occupied some time and was this escapism from other things. And I think a lot of people can resonate as well in your 20s, growing up, trying to figure out who you are and just using one thing to be a guiding light to continue living and discovering ourselves. But there's also a big component about you as an athlete, which I think is interesting, especially because of Italy's food scene. You are also a vegan athlete. Care to share about this thought process? Because I'm
Okay.
vegetarian, Shandi is not. We both grew up where there is Alberta beef. We both definitely grew up on
So,
some meat and
so
potatoes.
first of all, I was always raised. I was raised by my mom that was always like eating veggies. So the example was that. But I can say that my vegan trauma arrived by Canada experience.
I know.
Oh. Oh no.
We caused it, Shandi.
What happened?
No,
I'm sorry in advance.
I was like I spent like a month and a half in Vancouver, and then I was hosted by a family that was truly like ambientalist and then vegetarian, and then all the environment around was like, oh, have a smoothie, have a salad, and then so it was like a new environment where I was super involved. And then when I came back like at the end of September, and then in January I decided, oh, from tomorrow nothing more, like from 1st January of that year.
Okay.
So no transition, like was like from
You
tomorrow.
You
Yeah.
stopped cold turkey.
Yeah, we call this culture, and we also call these people tree huggers on the West Coast. Everyone jokes that if you go to British Columbia, the province where Vancouver is that you will go granola or like tree hugger. And it's true. I became vegetarian while living in Vancouver. Clearly it worked for you. So if anyone wants to become veggie, that's the place you can go. And
That's funny. But so Marco, because you were training so hard for your triathlon and the Ironman that you're training for, how did you make sure that you had enough protein and made sure that you had enough nutritional food when you were vegan? Because it's also very hard to eat vegan as well. And
Training is also, or doing sport is always not easy to balance the diet. So I was followed by a dietologist. But in general, you need like, even if you're not vegan, you need to have like a proper diet for doing sports, especially if you're like consuming a lot of calories, energies, and so yes, I'm sure because now I learn how to survive in general, but of course, is giving you being vegan or vegetarian is giving you like the opportunity to understand better like the culture of food. So I don't think if you're omnivore or you are like completely having like a balanced diet, even because at school we are not learning how to feed ourselves. So as omnivore doesn't mean that you are healthy. Being vegan doesn't mean that you are healthy as well. You can have a super processed food and then having unhealthy lifestyle as well as vegan. So the first reason why I became vegan was to be more healthier in my life. And so wasn't saving the planet, but was at the beginning for me. And then of course, approaching to this world was a life changement in every like component from animal rights to also environmental. But of course, you need you need to know what you are doing because it can be difficult, especially because nobody tells you about what you need.
Yeah, definitely. And how does it work when you find yourself in these community environments now and people are non-vegans around you? How does that interaction kind of go, especially when it's group meals, traveling, you're meeting other people who maybe don't have the same mindset of you? Do you find this always a difficult interaction or it's pretty easy?
I can say that at the beginning, like more or less 12, 13 years ago, was more difficult than now. Now the situation is more so you can find the right food everywhere. In Sicily, especially, we have a really good tradition of vegan food. Even if the Sicilian is not considering vegan, but we have a lot of also street food that is super vegan, and uh, so for me, it wasn't that difficult. But of course, when you are going to a dinner with when so you have to always to say so. Look, I'm vegan, vegetarian. I don't eat this. So you need always not justifying yourself, but you need always to introduce yourself.
You've been telling me about pistachio pesto, and I cannot wait to try this one day. So I feel like if you have pistachios just aren't common where Shandi and I come from. Pistachios are so expensive. So this is something in vegan culture we're not eating as much. So I think depends in the region you're in as well, trying to understand what the ingredients are that are vegan and that you can use in unique
Yeah.
ways. And vegan baking is so cool too. I'm such a fan of that because there's such a different science to it and replacing ingredients that end up producing the same thing. So, what we want to chat a little bit now, going backwards to the beginning, is more into this consulting work and a little bit more into what we've now discovered as 6-7 years of travel at the start. And also now you've traveled with all your athletic adventures and endeavors. So, where have you been in this world? Which is too broad of a question, but
Do you have time for this? For this answer? Fortunately, I started traveling since when I was really young with my parents, with my moms especially. Then I was in South America, I was in North America, I was in US, I was in Mauritius, in Maldives, in Japan, in India, so Europe, like easily everywhere.
you're
At the
well
moment,
traveled.
I will continue to travel. So, but sometimes I felt I don't know if it's like right to say something as that, but sometimes I felt bored also to travel. So not because it's something that I don't like, because at the end when you see so much country, the problem is that you are asking why are you traveling. So I think it's important that you have always a why. So at the beginning of my young age was like exploration, knowing more about the world, then become like I will discover world like doing sports, so meeting other people that is doing my similar activities. Then now it's becoming traveling for work, so I'm going to this place because I want to find something that can connect me better in the world that I'm developing here in Palermo. So yes, I'm a good traveler, but I think that to remain a good traveler, you need to have like a why you are traveling. So differently, you can have everything in your place. I think you have to look for something. You don't have like to travel like just because I want travel and stop.
What kind of traveler would you say that you are today?
I can say that at the moment I'm traveling more for work. more than exploration. But until last year, probably 2 years ago, I was more explorer, trying to reach every peak that I can arrive without any help, trying to survive around mountain or like you know, mm, the travel that I is not planning anything. So
My heart starts racing.
arriving in a place without any plan, and then I also van life. So as I told you, I have like different lifestyle like I pass by.
I feel like you're living 4 different lives.
Yeah. And you definitely fall into, we had like just recently an episode about a type A versus a type B traveler. You were definitely a type B traveler, just seeing where the wind takes you and goes. What's one of your favorite destinations? Which we get asked this all the time. And I'm like, okay, for what purpose are you asking this favorite destination? Is there a place that comes to mind that really was a spark of change for you? It's very influential, again, through these chapters of your life, or discovering your why? Is there a place that stands out?
Probably there are three that I can mention. The first one, of course, is Canada because I was like a passage, was like a really
Yeah, it
change
changed.
of my
Yeah.
so change a lot.
Yeah.
And then was India, and because give me really good lessons about how life is going, and then also to be more happy about what you having, and then all the luck that you receive, like living in like this like occidental side, no? So like this side of the world. And then in terms of wildness was, of course, there is Chile. Chile was considered 3 times. So it's something that you can experience. If you're looking for nature, it's something that you can experience in one trip all together. So I was fascinating that you can just going down and then the landscape is changing from the extreme desert to the extreme glacier. And then I like to compare this to like a life experience. So you start like in a way, and then at the end you finish in another.
Very poetic.
I love it.
Okay, so a lot of people know you from Beet Coliving. This is how I came to know you. And what's one misconception people have about you as an entrepreneur, going back to what you originally described, is you worked this consulting job, working in fashion, started working for yourself. And so there's a side of you that people don't, in maybe this travel and nomad community, know as much. So what's one thing people don't really know about you as an entrepreneur?
So all the story that I told now was like nobody knows every single step of my life. So it was an open conversation. So don't know about me. So of course, changing from fashion to digital nomad world, of course, is a huge differences. Yeah, because you move from something that has an economical value, but at the end is not something that has value. So it's just making money, is just selling more, and then overpricing the stuff. So moving from this world, of course, the experience that I did take me to be more on like social environment, not competing and developing together, not just thinking about how can be rich, but how can have my sustainability, and in the same time how can have good impact on my territory, on my community. And so I think that is something that not everyone know about me. So it was like a long transition, and then I don't know if I'm answering right to your question.
I think you're like
That's
actually
great.
answering it very well of what you've learned in all your life that you just described to us, of finding your why, finding your purpose, being disciplined in your training. Of course, the way you eat affects things, and just considering how you're spending your time, making your money now, not just straight for profit, but also thinking about how this affects other people. So what's the one project right now outside of the Italian Noma Fest and Beet Community that we'll talk about in part 2? But what's one project or a type of project that really excites you right now in your consulting work and your entrepreneur work?
I'm auto consulting myself at the moment. So Beet Community is something that was born inside the consulting company with the team that is working with me every day. So is like one of the projects that I like to consult more, even because I have the different aspect from like digital and software developing to like social environment and then hospitality. Probably one of the most important that we are doing that is probably a client that we are going to have like also for the next year is an e-commerce store for children clothes. So that we are managing all the software side and then also the marketing campaign and then all this stuff. So we are working on it since 3 years, and then more or less we are like we can do everything we want, like in terms of like how we manage it, and then so it's very stimulating because nobody's going to say what are you doing. So we are working as is our own project. So this one is very stimulating, even if, of course, like fashion for children is not my exactly my main topic in my life. But of course, like having the opportunity to work like without anyone that is controlling or maybe not controlling, but that someone that is trust about you and then the work that you're doing, of course, is very stimulating because you can apply your knowledge without justifying what you're doing.
Beautiful.
Love
Great.
it. I can't wait to learn more about it in the next episode that we go into. So thank you so much, Marco, for letting us learn a little bit about who you are and what made you who you are. And we're looking forward to talking in the next episode about your co-living and your community in Palermo. And thank you so much for being here.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
And we will put in the
Amazing.
show notes, everyone, how to connect with Marco if you want to work with him, whether you're interested in some kind of co-living project yourself, or he obviously has many skills, or you want to start a fashion clothing line. I'm just kidding, for kids.
Or you want to start training for a triathlon.
Or a triathlon, or you have curiosity about veganism, then lots of things to ask
Marco's your
him.
guy.
Everyone are welcome, so you can choose your topic and come.
So
Amazing.
sweet.
And we are the Where She Builds podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you listen to your podcast. I'm Anna, your travel friend Anna, joined always by Coach Shandi, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao for now.
Ciao.